Coach Casey, both of them been saying, you know, it's a restoration process more than anything because the city of Detroit, the Pistons have been, you know, the best team in the world before. So we just trying to bring back that culture that, you know, has already lived in the city. And, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to restore every day. We have a young core to start it out. A bunch of young talent that I feel like once we come together, then we have a real shot at reaching that.
Detroit basketball! 1970 was the last time the Pistons picked first. Then they selected a future Hall of Famer. Present day at 1, they called on a cowboy named Cade. Will history repeat itself? I look like Bay. As a rookie, he was nice on D and a marksman when it came to shooting the 3, one of the key pieces in a young, promising core. And then this guy, trying to get my hands on some grants like Horace. Puff shot it out his uncle back when, but Jeremy made a name for himself last season after he got the Benjamins as a free agent. What's next for number 9? Now let's pull back the curtain on JG and his teammates in training camp. Let's go behind the scenes.
We're going to go through camp and we'll play with some different lineups to get some experience with guys playing with each other and understand spacing in certain situations and different positions.
We got some guys that have a year or a few years under the belt. So I think we're just gelling together right now. Everybody's getting used to each other. It's been looking good though. A lot of energy, a lot of young guys getting used to how we move, the pace of the game, and things like that. So. I feel like he can teach me a lot. You know, just because of the guys he already back then. Hearing that, you know, he's going to be around more. He's definitely going to be a guy who I'm going to be picking his brain every day. So hopefully, I'm going to get tired of that. To have a year under the belt and the summer league as well, you definitely see the progress and how they're moving. So should be a good year.
There's no choice if you want to be a good player, and we have a great group of young men that have bought into that. And I think the fruits are going to show. I don't know exactly when, but they're going to show at some point, and I'm seeing steps right now.
That said, Hoop fans, what's good? You are now rocking with the best. Bro Parrish in Studio B, along with the Hall of Famer, 2-time champion. And who better to discuss things, all things Detroit basketball. There it is. I love the energy. That's what we're bringing. So, second worst record in the NBA last season. However, the culture is definitely changing. You have to credit Troy Weaver, Dwayne Casey for everything that's going on, drafting and developing the right players. Now they have the #1 overall pick, Cade Cunnigham. Now, you are very qualified to answer this question. This is why you're here. What does it mean specifically to be the face of this franchise?
I mean, when you're talking about being the face of the Pistons, you're talking about representing the team. You're talking about representing the city, but more importantly, you're talking about representing those moms, those dads who are sitting at home every night watching you on television, rooting for you and living through you. So that Detroit Piston pride that you carry for the city, you never know who those little kids are going to grow up to be who are watching. As we've worked with Chris Webber, you know, Steve Smith, we see Jalen Rose on television. I mean, that Detroit connection, you know, is tight, but we never knew that we were having that kind of impact on the next generation that's coming up. So, you know, anytime the Pistons take the floor, they're playing for the city, they're playing for those little kids, and they're playing for the mom and dads.
Well, we've already heard Cade Cunningham speak highly about the city of Detroit and how he wants to fit in and blend in. He's been called the most complete player in the draft, 7-foot wingspan, the basketball IQ, playing at his own pace. He's drawn some comparisons, and I hate to do this, but just for the sake of the fans, to Grant Hill because of his playmaking ability, and you know, hey, he can do what he do. We saw what he did during Summer League. Your thoughts on his game?
Well, everything that you just described, I mean, is accurate. You know, he can shoot the basketball. You know, his defensive intensity is what's impressive to me. I like that he comes with the complete package, not only for offense, but also he wants to play on the other side of the ball too, defensively. And for the Detroit Pistons, we won championships, you know, back-to-back with our defensive intensity. And then when you look at Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, they're known for their defensive attitude. And, you know, I might add, we beat the Lakers both times.
Talk that talk, Zeke. Talk that talk.
But this is what Cade is going to bring. So this is the Detroit foundation. This is the Detroit culture. And it starts on the defensive side of the ball.
Indeed it does. We know Cade was the Big 12 Player of the Year. We saw what he did in the Summer League, shooting 42%, right under 20 points per game. He looks like he fits in, and he should fit in well with this young group of Pistons talent.
Absolutely. You know, Troy has done a great job in terms of drafting, trading, and blending. So when we talk about a young team, the first thing that they're going to bring, and that Cade will bring, is enthusiasm and energy. Now, can they sustain this enthusiasm and energy throughout the tough times? Because they're not going to win every game. There'll be some nights where they're just going to be outmatched talent-wise. But their enthusiasm and energy should carry them most nights.
Yes, it should. And someone who carried the most nights last season was Jeremy Grant. We saw him come over from the Nuggets, and we just saw his development shoot through the roof, career highs across the board. Talk about his development, and can he be an all-star this season?
He could definitely be an all-star. I mean, and we didn't know. A lot of times you don't know the talent that's hidden on other teams' benches. And again, you know, credit to Troy for knowing the talent and the offensive skills that Jeremy had, and that he could go out and put it on display every single night. Now, teams will game plan for him, but he comes from a pedigree of, you know, professional players in his family. You know, Harvey, Horace, they've been through the league. They've had the ups and downs. They've won championships. So they know what it's like, and he'll be able to lean, you know, on those stories, those foundations of knowledge, same as Clay did with his dad, same as Steph did with his dad. You know, having that book of library that you can go in and read from and talk to, you know, the forefathers who were in the league before you, that's going to be important for Jeremy.
30-point games, 458. He had 0 time scoring 30 points. Last season, he had 9 scoring over 30. Definitely impressive. But the rest of the supporting cast, again, drafting, developing. Saddiq Bey has been one of those key pieces that they brought in, an all-rookie performer. He is going to be very important for this team as they continue.
So, Saddiq, to me, you know, while others played well as rookies last year, to me, he was the most impressive rookie last year because he wasn't expected to be, and then he became. And not only that, you know, he's a leader. I mean, when he walks into a locker room and he walks into any room, you know, his presence stands out. You know, he's a man, you know, and what I love about him is that he doesn't take nights off. You know, he can shoot the basketball, he's got skill, but he steps up in the Detroit culture to defend and also play the right way. You know, he shares with his teammates. He's not all about me. It's all about team in Detroit.
Listen, he came off the bench and scored 30, didn't miss a 3 in that game, 7 for 7, extremely impressive. He was a draft pick, but then you move on to Killian Hayes. Top 7 pick, has all the talent in the world, however, missed a lot of time with injuries. Where does he fit in on this Detroit squad?
I think Killian is going to have a good year. Last year he got hurt, and he brings the thing that you need to a team that all teammates love. He can pass the basketball, and he's a willing passer. So, you know, his size, his height, you know, his length, I think will be key to him playing well this year. I think he'll have a little bit more confidence in his shot. And had he not got hurt and injured so early, I thought he would have had a good year also. But coming back this second year, now that he's been around the block, knows what to expect, I think Killian's going to have a good year also.
Looking forward to see how they play those two together, him and Cade Cunningham. I think that they'll be able to balance each other out, but can't wait to see what this Detroit Pistons team does this season. Also, Josh Jackson, we saw him take a huge leap. It seems like he's fitting in as well. Taking a look at the Pistons' outlook, we've seen that they've missed the last playoffs the last 2 seasons. In fact, they've missed the playoffs in 12 of the last 10 of the last 12 seasons. That's what I'm trying to say probably. But look at that game against Houston, the top 2 picks going at it. So with all that being said, Zeke, where does this team fit in the Eastern Conference? Do you see them maybe making a push for the play-in spot?
I think they'll definitely be making a push for the play-in. They'll improve. And I think, again, their energy, their enthusiasm, because of their youth, will carry them on some nights where teams are tired, are fatigued, and don't necessarily want to play against them. But I do think that they'll be in a position to compete and challenge for that play-in spot.
That would be great for them. Now, if they do get that play-in spot, that probably means Cade played well. As far as winning the Rookie of the Year, he's obviously going to be in the conversation. Do you see him capturing that trophy like a player who is compared to Grant Hill?
I say this, and I want everybody to know I'm biased, and I want everybody to know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Cade to be the Rookie of the Year, and I'm rooting for the Detroit Pistons. Now, some of you may not agree with me, but understand exactly where I stand. I'm with the Detroit Pistons.
I mean, this man delivered 2 championships to the city of the D. Why wouldn't he be biased? Just saying. It's the one and only Zeke. I'm Parrish. Jordan Daddy loves you.